Tuesday morning, May 5th, 7:12 this morning. Mixture of sun and clouds today expected. Time now for one of our favorite segments. We do this every Tuesday with Trooper Brooks David joining us in studio. So if you have questions that you want to ask him about, is this legal, is this not legal, all you have to do is call him 232-1542, 232-1542, and he'll tackle those issues for you today. And always call sooner rather than later, because sometimes people call and he's already out the door. All right, so we have to start with an email that a woman sent, and she was very, very passionate about this, and I can completely understand. She and her husband had pulled up to a shopping center to go and get a sandwich from a little sandwich shop. The husband notices that there's a car right by the sandwich shop. The car is on, the keys are in it, the purse is on the seat. The wife comes around, realizes not only is the car on and the purse on the seat, there's a kid, a little baby, in a car seat in the back seat. I mean, it's unbelievable. And so the mother eventually comes out and the woman, kind of berates the young woman, and she's like, well, I was only in there for a few minutes, but it only takes a second, right, Brooks?
That's right. We see it all the time where vehicles are stolen and kids are still strapped into their car seats, or we see it, unfortunately, parents go inside and gamble or do other things in a bar and the child dies. Anytime you leave a child inside of a vehicle under the age of 10, you can be charged with child desertion.
No kidding.
Yeah, that's a criminal charge. Matter of fact, I think it was last week or over the weekend, a mother was charged in Baker for doing that. So she had 3 kids in the car. So, as parents, you want to be responsible. I know sometimes it's very, it puts you out of the way to take your kid out just to run inside real quick and do what you have to do. But when you had children, you're supposed to become a responsible adult. Our children are our number one priority, and we want to make sure that they're taken care of. So take the time and unstrap your child or unbuckle your child and bring them in with you, or just don't stop.
Yeah.
Be a responsible parent.
Yeah. And you do think, it's only going to be a minute. It's only going to be a minute. But it really only takes that minute until, like you said, somebody takes off with your car.
That's right.
Or
the car kills and it's hot outside.
Right.
And you're in the store longer than you want it to be. And your child's sitting in a car that gets up to 120 degrees.
Yeah. And this woman felt, completely conflicted, and that's why she and her husband stood by the vehicle. And she felt conflicted because, she didn't want somebody seeing the purse and seeing the car on and taking it away. At the same time, she didn't want to call police because she thought, well, maybe they won't get here by the time the woman gets out of the store. But what's your advice if somebody does encounter a situation like this? Well,
my advice, especially when it comes to children, we always want to take care of them first.
Yeah.
You know what? As an adult, you shouldn't have done it in the first place. However, as civilians, you really don't want to encounter somebody and get in an argument with them if you don't need to. So you really want to call 911, especially when a child is involved. That way you can have emergency services en route. Even if the police can't get there first, they have medical personnel or fire personnel that can take care of that child if something happens. And police personnel will arrive soon thereafter in case some type of argument ensues.
Yeah.
But the number one focus is the child and not the parent.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that child's taken care of.
Yeah, and you don't know what kind of person they are. You don't know if they're going to be volatile or whatever
the
case may be, or strung out or whatever the case may be. In this case, it was just a normal situation. The baby was about 3 months old in the back seat. Mom pops in for a sandwich, pops right back out. Nothing else going on, let's say, other than that incident. So, just kind of good food for thought this morning. All right, the number is 232-1542, 232-1542. All right, you're on the air. Do you have a question for the trooper?
Just a comment, Bernie, this morning. If I happen to be in the parking lot somewhere at any given business and this is occurring, the child is left in the car, as the trooper said, that the child is very important, but the parent of that child is so irresponsible. I'm taking the license plate number, and I will be calling the police. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. 232-1542. All right. Good morning. You're next. Go ahead, please.
Good morning. This is a little bit off of that, but it's a legitimate question that I'd like to get a response to.
Sure.
And, over here we have a lot of people who have concealed carry. Now, just suppose that you were in a situation like what happened with those two terrorists or the two guys that protested the art display thing. You know what I'm talking about. And you have a concealed carry, there's no policeman around, and you were to take some kind of action against those people, what would happen to you legally? Do you have a right in a situation like that to take action? I'm going to hang up and listen.
All right. Thank you. I guess it's, kind of touchy in a way, right?
Whenever somebody's life is in immediate danger of death or serious bodily harm, we as police officers must take action, and deadly force is authorized. You see it every day where people rob us or in a store to rob it, or some type of shooting occurs, and a concealed carry permit person pulls his weapon and either returns fire or shoots the subject and eliminates the threat or stops the threat. Legally, I can't sit here and say legally the police will not question you or do whatever. That's ultimately up to the district attorney's office. However, by you saving someone's life, especially in that situation in Texas where they were shooting at people, and you have a weapon and you feel that you can eliminate that threat, and you are a legally concealed carrying person, if it was me, I would take action, and then I would just have to deal with the court system then.
Right.
But I would not want to sit there knowing that I'm a legally concealed handgun carry permit person, because why do you have the concealed carry permit person? The concealed carry permit. It's not only to protect you. If somebody's shooting at somebody else, I would want to protect that person. Now, that doesn't mean that you run 12 blocks and start shooting at
right.
them, but if you're right there in the middle of the mix, to me, you'd want to do what you have to do to protect them.
Okay. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we shall continue with our questions for the trooper. It is 7:19. We got a mixture of sun and clouds today. High temperature at 83, about a 20% chance of rain. Right now, 64 degrees. 7:21, 64 degrees. Brooks David, our guest for Ask the Trooper in studio today. You can call at 232-1542. Like this person is doing, sir. Good morning, and go ahead with your question for the trooper, please.
Good morning. Mine is a traffic question. We all know that on a 4-lane divided highway, per se, with a median in it, if a school bus is stopped on the opposite side, your side doesn't have to stop. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. If it's a 4-lane highway without a divider in it, what is the rule there?
You must stop. Unless there's
That's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure. I had a couple times yesterday, a lot of people kept going on a non-divided highway, and it kind of worried me.
Now, a divided highway can also be a turning lane. Now, if there's a turning lane, you do not have to stop unless
Correct.
You are in that turning lane.
Correct. That's what I thought. I saw a lot of people that kept going on a non-divided highway or a non-divided road. Now, I don't think people know that you don't have to stop when there's a medium and it's divided.
That's correct.
Well, thank you. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
All right. Have a good one. All right. And the thing is, it's so funny about that rule, because for years it was one way and we would say it all the time over and over and over. And now the law changed, and now we have to say it over and over and over, because even I do it, and I sit in this room with you once a week, right?
Yeah.
So I'm either following a school bus. I'm like, okay, well, I'm following him, so no, I got to stop. But now I'm on the other side of the roadway. Is there like a turning lane in there? And then I have to think about it. So I understand that frustration.
And they're not doing it to intentionally break the law. They're doing it to be safe.
Sure.
We understand. But sometimes it can cause crashes for people who are actually trying to do the right thing. but they're not paying attention, and then they hit somebody from the back.
Yeah, that can be a little troubled spot, if you will.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go to our next person. Good morning. You're up next. Go ahead, please.
Yes, ma'am. My question is regarding aggressive driving in regards to tailgaters. What is the proper way to get a tailgater off of you, perfectly on the interstate system? I'll hang up and listen to you.
Okay, thank you. I've often wondered that too, Brooks. Because I actually do the speed limit, so people love to tailgate me, especially on West Congress.
The best thing you can do and the easiest thing you can do is change lanes.
Just change lanes.
Let them go by you. Because what's going to happen is they're eventually going to cause a crash, or up the road they're going to get stopped by the police. So you're doing the speed limit. You're going to get to where you need to go. Just change lanes. Let them go by you, and they'll either get ticketed or they'll cause a crash. And if it's severe, call Star LSP or 911 if it's really that bad. And if we have somebody in the area or the agency has somebody in the area, they'll send them out there.
Okay. Well, that's easy enough to
remember.
I mean,
you don't want to counteract an aggressive driver, and you don't want to make them even more aggressive staying in that lane of travel just because you're doing the speed limit.
Yeah.
Just get out their way and let them go about their business.
Makes sense to me. All right. It's coming up on 7:25, so we've got our Todd Starnes Fox News and commentary. That's on the way this morning. We do have a traffic crash to report to you. It's the Youngsville Highway at La Nouvelle. That's the Youngsville Highway at La Nouvelle and Broussard. So be careful in that area. Our Ask the Trooper segment will continue coming up in just a couple of minutes. Our number, 232-1542. $7:27, our final couple of minutes here with Trooper Brooks David for Ask the Trooper, 232-1542. If you have a question, something you want to talk to the Trooper about. All right, you are up next. Go ahead, please.
Good morning. In reference to the guy with the concealed carry and put into a situation of what not to do, there's an insurance company that it's USCCA, that in case you have to pull out your weapon or do anything of that sort, they will give you legal representation. It's like a monthly insurance fee. And I guess in the back of your mind, it helps to give you a little bit more confidence in any kind of a situation like that.
Interesting. Okay. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye. All right. One final question for us, and you're it. Go ahead, please.
Yes. This is a question, not a complaint, but I spend a lot of time on the highways, and for any like you, I pretty much hang out at the speed limit. A lot of times, the vehicle that comes up behind me are state troopers. I happily move out of the way and all of that, but the light's not on. But if I'm doing 70 or 71 or something like that, and this trooper is just zooming down the road, what is the policy on that? Again, not a complaint, just a question.
Sometimes our troopers are en route to crashes, or they are trying to catch up to vehicles to, how do I want to say it? To inspect a little bit further. If we put on our lights on the interstate system or on the Atchafalaya Basin Bridge, we are going to cause a bigger hazard than we will without them on. Because when people see the lights, for some reason, they don't know to pull over to the right. They just start to want to scatter all over the place, pull to the left, pull to the right, or sometimes stop in the middle of the road. However, people driving in the left lane of travel should constantly, every once in a while, look in your rearview mirror or side mirror. You should be able to see the officer approaching, and you should be moving over to the right-hand lane. We understand that it is an inconvenience. However, when we are looking for certain things on vehicles, we do not want to let those people be aware that are further up the road that we are coming, or cause a massive traffic jam on the interstate system or on the bridge with our lights and sirens and all this other stuff going. Now, sometimes we have to use it because it is such an emergency that we have to get there that fast. But there are certain situations where we do not have to get there that fast. We just have to get there before something else causes another crash or catastrophe.
That makes perfect sense. They can be sneaking up on you just to, see what you're really doing in that car. Are you texting? Is that license plate real? Is it the wrong one?
Well, it's not for minor traffic violations. It's for criminal offenses that are taking place that we need to investigate a little bit further. Mm-hmm.
Makes perfect sense. Trooper Brooks David, as always, thank you for coming in on Tuesday. This was a lot of fun. We appreciate it. So you get to head on back to the troop now, and you have a bunch of kids coming to visit you.
We have a field trip coming to the troop from one of the local schools.
Uh-huh.
So we're going to have about 75 kids in the school. I mean, in the troop.
Uh-huh.
So it's going to be fun.
Did they get balloons and stuff?
Well, I'm sure we'll have something for them over there.
I'm sure. Well, enjoy that. Have fun with that.
I'm going to have a blast.
I knew it. 7:32. We'll be back with news, weather, and traffic on the way.